Women are fighting so hard for their rights that they're giving them back to us. Welcome back. Welcome me back. It's been a long week. I've been sick as a dog. Came down with like the flu or something. I don't know what I had. I don't really go to the hospital as I go as little as I possibly can. So I was not officially diagnosed, but it felt like the flu. I didn't really do anything, but I took some bitters and I took some little bit of what I have some like some kid medicine that I had for my kids, and I really just been asleep all week. So I haven't put out any content. That's the reason I'm saying all of these things. The last thing I covered was the LA fires. My insurance video picked up a little steam, and I had some interaction, which kind of lit a fire in my under my ass yesterday, and kind of forced me to get back on this horse. Even though I am still not better, but I would much rather be sick and do these videos. And I see my camera is going to want to move on me today. I need to tighten up uh, this tripod or some shit. But anyway, I'm back. Despite being sick, I'm pretty much on the tail end of it. It's like mostly over. But like I said, I would much rather get back on this horse and sort of fight through it than to lay down and give up or whatever. But as you can see in the lower left hand corner of your screen, uh, this is what I'm on today. Uh, and I stand by that wholeheartedly. Before we even get into why this is the topic of my video today, I do want to make it clear that I am all for people getting their just due respect. I am not interested in bullying anyone or ostracizing anyone for the choices that they make, albeit I don't agree with them, no matter how much I don't agree with them. I don't call for violence on anyone. I don't call for even the exclusion of anyone. I say, famously or infamously, that I believe people should do what they want and they should be able to be left to their devices and they should be able to live the lives that they want to live. A few caveats though. I don't think it has to be pushed in everyone else's face. I don't think that your lifestyle has to be accepted by everyone either. I'm a black man. I was born having to accept the fact that there are corners of this earth that I cannot go should I want to continue living. And that is just a reality because no matter how wrong it is, and no matter how many laws the government or the local government writes into effect, it is not going to change anyone's hatred for me. It is not going to change the reality that as a black man, I am in a sense cursed. If you choose to walk, if you choose, if you choose to walk a particular lifestyle and it is dangerous, then you have to also accept the dangers that come with it. If you become a trapeze artist, falling is a big part of your job. If you become a stuntman, getting hurt, bumps, bruises, scrapes is a part of your job. If you become an actor, being famous could potentially come with the territory. So if you choose to turn yourself into something that you are not, then you have to accept the fact that there will be a sector of the world that does not agree with that shit. You know, it just is what it is. In a harmonious, truly perfect world, we would all be accepted and everything would be okay for us all. But this world is not harmonious. In fact, this world is fucked. Let me let me show you the culprit behind all of this. So, I learned today that there was a um let me go back and make sure I know what it's called. It is an act, HR 20 28, the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act of 2025. I saw something that mentioned that this was also maybe presented or signed in 2023 as well or something. I don't know. But I believe this is brand new. And it is to prevent schools from allowing biological males to compete in school athletic programs for women or girls by stating that sex in an athletic competition must be defined by genetics at birth and withholding federal funding. Let me see what's the rest of that. Um, I'm gonna just read this. I don't know exactly where they pulled that excerpt from, but it's somewhere in here. But anyway, defending women's sports from woke policies. Despite claiming to support women, Democrats continue to push woke policies that take away opportunities for them to achieve athletic success. Hardworking female athletes who have trained their whole lives to achieve their dreams have been forced to compete against transgender biological males under the guise of inclusivity. Women's and girls' sports exist for a reason. It is unfair to allow biological males to compete in the same category and commandeer spots on teams, scholarship funds, and titles meant for biological women. Let me just keep going. Furthermore, allowing biological men into women's locker rooms and bathrooms takes away spaces from women and girls where they have a right to feel safe and puts them at risk. No woman or girl should have to share a bathroom with or change in front of a biological male. It's scientific fact. Men and women have biological differences that make competing on the same sports team unfair and potentially dangerous. Allowing biological men to compete in women's sports places female athletes in a position where they could more easily be injured. Educational institutions have a duty to protect the safety of the women and girls that attend them and ensure those women have the same access to athletic and educational opportunities as men. And the highlighted portion states, the one that was out on that Google page, I believe, the Protection of Women and Girls Act of 2025, introduced by Rep. Greg Steube, prevents schools from allowing biological males to compete in school athletic programs for women or girls by stating that sex in an athletic competition must be defined by genetics at birth, and withholding federal funding from schools that facilitate athletic programs where biological men compete against biological women. Oh, shit. So they're saying if you don't adhere to this and you allow men, transgender women, to compete in women's sports, then your ass is grass. Wow. I kind of didn't expect that one. Now, I had a discussion or an argument with a young lady who thinks that she knows everything some years back, where she disagreed with this sort of stance here. And she said that she thinks there's nothing wrong with men, transgender women, I'm sorry, competing in women's sports because they are women. And I said, well, how are these women going to win? And she said basically that women can do anything a man can do, and that women would not have a problem with competing against these transgender women because they are women and we are men, and there is no difference between us essentially. And I said, the average man is on average like 3 to 6 inches taller than a woman at her average. And she said, well, there are women that are taller than men, and you have basketball players that are taller than you and all of that. I'm 6'2". I weigh almost 400 pounds. And I can move. Which is why all my friends say that I should have been playing football, right? I've never met a woman my size that can move the way that I can or is as strong as I am. Never, not once. I know women that are tall as me. I know women that are a little bit shorter than me, but they might be as big as I am in terms of if she's standing in front of me, her body might be as wide as me. But the difference is that I'm probably still going to weigh twice as much as she does because I am made up of more muscle than she is. Why is that? Well, it's because my fucking genetics calls for my body to develop muscle at almost twice the rate that a woman's body does. It's not rocket science. We went on to have this discussion, and I brought up the topic of the UFC fighter. Let me see if I can find it actually. There was a UFC fighter who was a trans woman. Was it UFC? Not UFC, but mixed martial arts, I believe. Fallon Fox is a transgender mixed martial artist who came out as transgender in 2013 after her first two professional fights in the women's division. Her coming out and the licensing process she chose led to controversy and debate over whether trans women should be allowed to compete in women's MMA. I brought up this fight and I brought up how easy it was for this man essentially to destroy this woman. I believe this man destroyed this woman within the first 40 seconds of the fight. That isn't unusual in fighting. You know, sometimes men put other men down in that amount of time. But I also saw a video of a man in the MMA ring fighting two women at once, and they both got their asses whooped. Two women fighting one man, and both women got their ass whooped, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know a woman in my life that could fight me and another man that I know. I don't know of a woman like that. But I know that if you put me in the ring with two women, I would probably be in prison thereafter. I don't think it's rocket science. And I think this know it all younger generation that is all about woke inclusivity and whatever you want to name that goes along in that same box, they ignore these blaring facts. This woman that I had this discussion with was an idiot and thought that men and women were biologically, physically the same. Other than the fact that we have different reproductive organs, she didn't think that there was any difference physically. And then she went on to cite these outliers like women who could stand taller than me, or women who might even be stronger than me, women that could fight better than me. All of those things exist. I'm not a fool. I'm not of the belief that just because I'm a man, that there aren't any women who could best me at any given thing. Whether it be a job, whether it be speaking, whether it be writing, whether it be fighting, whether it be strength, whether it be lifting, whether it be running. I understand that. But the exception does not negate the rule, as Kevin Samuels used to love to say. The fact that there are outliers in women who can sort of rise above their average, rise above their station, and maybe outdo some men that they could compete with. You know, there are women athletes all over the world that can do things that I couldn't dream of doing. But the reality is that if you're comparing averages, if you're comparing the best of the best to the best of the best from either gender, men are outperforming women in physical activities by a long red carpet shot, by a DC sniper shot. It isn't close. And I never quite understood why women claim to take the stance of fighting for women's rights while also making it as easy as they possibly can for men to occupy their spaces and take the things that belong to them. Women hate men so much that they are destroying their own leagues and sports by letting men dominate them. You hate me so much that you would let a nigga put on a dress and pretend to be you, and you would take his side over mine. So what I decided a few years ago was that I was going to stop arguing, and I was going to stop, you know, trying to spew my rhetoric. I'm not going to debate about this anymore. I'm simply going to lay back. I'm going to let you choose the path that you have chosen and let these grown ass niggas occupy your spaces, and we shall see. And now here we are. You have trans women dominating the very sports that was developed to allow you the space to shine. The reason that there are different gendered sports in the first place is because women could not. Do you think anybody in the WNBA could stand next to LeBron and do what he does? Any one of them. Do you think do you disagree with the assumption that if LeBron was to be let into the NBA, WNBA, I'm sorry, if LeBron put on a wig and a dress today and said, I identify as a woman, and he went to the WNBA, do you disagree with the fact that he would probably average 120 points a game? Do you disagree with that? Name me a female athlete that can move, jump, shoot, dunk, defend, or break through a defender the way that LeBron can. I can't think of not one, ever. Not one. I did the fun part of pulling up a list of trans athletes. Let's see what these motherfuckers look like. This is Veronica Ivy. Veronica, say hello to the class. Veronica is a two-time Masters World Champion, notably winning the 2018 UCI World Masters Track Cycling Championships in her age category. Oh, this is Valentina Petrillo. She has won multiple Italian national championships, both before and after transitioning. This is Laurel Hubbard. It's a transgender weightlifter. She set records in several men's weightlifting events in her own country before transitioning. She smiles after winning the 100-yard freestyle final, the Ivy League women's swimming and diving championships at Harvard. Oh, this bitch just sweeping the nation. I want you to look at these motherfuckers, man. Look at these people, bro. That is a grown ass man. That's a grown ass man. Women are fighting so hard for their rights that they're giving them back to us. And now the government had to step in to protect you from yourself because you've been fighting so hard for your rights that you handed them back to the people that you were taking them from. And now the government had to come in and say, wait. These motherfuckers are giving their rights back to the very people that they've been fighting for the last 60, 70 years to get them from. Now they can vote, they can do everything, and now they've ran out of things to fight for, and they're still fighting so hard that they have managed to give their sports and their spaces, like their bathrooms and fitting rooms, back to men. Hey, dog. Imagine fighting in a war and you done fought so hard. You conquered. You destroyed the enemy. He is done. But you kept fighting and said, no, there's more to be done. And you fight so fucking hard that you end up losing not only not only the front lines that you fought to win, but then you end up losing your own fucking home country too. You fought Germany so hard in World War II that now America is Germany too. God. Hey, look, man, I'm out of this bitch, though. That's it.